Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be a review of the Xtrfy GPZ1. That is right, renowned mouse reviewer and now product designer ROCKETJUMPNINJA has released his first ever black square. This is his mousepad that was designed in Australia. It's $35 for a special material, which does turn out to just be a cloth pad. It has a velvety feel to it. I personally was expecting, I don't know what I was expecting, but it definitely wasn't something this controlled. I knew ROCKETJUMPNINJA was a fan of pads like the GSR, and this definitely rivals that in terms of lack of speed. It's a high friction experience. I'll get into some of the stuff he said about it being like mouse acceleration in a mouse pad, because that was just extremely confusing. I don't think anybody really knows what that means. And yeah, but the first thing I want to talk about is just something that's unacceptable on a pad that is $44 after shipping. It is the packaging. I was planning on doing an unboxing video, but I just decided against it. But I still have some of the footage when I first unboxed the pad. It wasn't good. And hopefully I can throw that up in the corner while I show the issue. As you can see, the GPZ1 is a 4mm thick pad. That is a thick mouse pad. The Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn is the same thickness, but look at the difference in the boxes. Also, the GPZ1 comes rolled up in like a toilet paper roll. It's like they want this mousepad to be as tightly packed as possible. And you can see the result, a mousepad that is out of the box horrific. It took over 5 reverse rolls to even get it, I would say 90% flat, versus something like the Lethal Gaming Gear Saturn, where they do have the larger package, but it is absolutely flat right out of the box. So I don't feel like this is a high quality, like premium shipping experience with the GPZ1, and it should change. So I just wanted to make that complaint known. Moving past the packaging, which I would presume is just Xtrfy cutting some corners to save shipping costs, I'll talk about the actual dimensions and the thickness of the pad. So this is 460 by 400 by 4mm. It's pretty near the standard size of mouse pads, a bit smaller than Artisan XL, which is my personal favorite, just a bit more depth. And from this lighter test, you can see that this is a very firm mouse pad. For 4mm thick, you kind of presume that it'll have some plush. Absolutely not the case. Even if you do put a lot of pressure with your mouse, it will slow down the glide a bit, but you're never going to get that like Artisan Soft or X-Soft level of actually being able to press your mouse into the pad if you want to. So that is something to note if you prefer firmer pads and you want something that feels comfortable but also thick. One interesting thing about this mousepad is it does not matter what mouse skates you're using. They all feel slowed down. Even if you're using Tiger Ice, it won't really speed up the mousepad. It's more determined by the weight of the mouse is what I've noticed. If you have a lighter mouse, your experience will be a bit better, but it's still a swampy feeling, like definitely a mud pad. And I was using it with a heavy mouse like the new Razer Death Adder Hyperspeed, and even something not heavy, but the Model D wireless, just fucking so slow on this mouse pad. And oh my god, like look at what happens when I just try to do a little glide test. Truly a crazy slow mouse pad. I do think it's affected by humidity. One reason I think this is, of course, that the pad lacks water resistance. You're gonna see in real time that it just seeps into the surface. Also, just the consistency of the mouse pad, it feels definitely slower at times when it's more humid out, and it's really not even getting over 70% humidity, so it is getting noticeably slower at times. You can see what's happening with the water as well. Also, I think I was watching Fresh Reviews, who did a pretty good review of this pad, in my opinion, and he was saying things like it feels like it's tugging when you're switching directions, and I really don't think that that is a quality of the mouse pad. I think that is an issue with it being affected by humidity. So there's a lot of reason for me to believe, especially based on my own experience, that this pad is being slowed down by humidity at times, because nothing that ROCKETJUMPNINJA really described is the case for me about this pad being like really slow and controlled for micro adjustments, but then like easy to move your mouse around fast. And based on that description of the mousepad, before I received it, I thought it was going to be the same as the new Fnatic Focus 3 OEM. It's not, it's completely different. But I just think the GPZ1 is outclassed by the Focus 3 in every way. It's actually water repellent, as you can see, and it is low initial friction and a medium amount of dynamic friction. It's not the best control pad I've ever used, but you can get a 2XL size for only $30 versus $35 for the GPZ1. Also, this large size is only 20, I believe, but it's a bit too short. It's whatever, though. Still a good value and a cloth pad that actually has some glide, because you can see when I go back to the GPZ1, there's just no glide on it. It's so fucking crazy. The best words I can use to describe how the glide feels is dense and heavy. It really does feel like you're fighting against the mouse pad to keep the mouse moving, which is not what I was expecting, because one of the Xtrfy marketing quotes is, if you move it quickly, it acts as a speed pad, which I suppose, like, yes, anything can be a speed pad if you just move your arm quicker. It's an astute observation, but I wouldn't call this a speed pad by any stretch of the imagination. Especially since the initial friction, what it takes to actually get the mouse moving, is some of the highest out of any mouse pad I have tried. And this, it can actually be good for people. I think this is the small niche that this mouse pad is really made for. If you have shaky aim and you use a lighter mouse, and you want to just have the mouse pad help you stabilize that, you might want something that is so high friction. Even though this is without a doubt a mud pad, I didn't find it unplayably slow for Fortnite, and I did find that my flicks were a lot more stable. But that was the only part of my aim that I felt like improved with this mouse pad. In Fortnite, there's a lot of just moving your mouse in all axes, and that just felt not tiresome, but I would never want to do it on a mouse pad like this for a long period of time. So this is something that after I'm done with the review, I doubt I'll be using again. I don't really feel like it was worth the money. I know some of that is just a ROCKETJUMPNINJA fee, which I am happy to pay. By the way, this tag, I like the solution. It's just off to the side. If you really hate it, you can cut it off, but don't leave it under or else it will feel bumpy. Not like I really moved my mouse there, but yeah, the stitched edges, I'd say they're like a 7.5 and 8 out of 10. Not the absolute best, but they're not abrasive. I believe the GP4, the old Xtrfy mousepad, actually had better stitching, but this is passable, but it's nothing artisan level or Razer Strider, Lethal Gaming Gear pads, etc. But it's good enough, and the rubber backing, this thing is really in place. The first few days, it was a bit wonky because it wasn't lying perfectly flat, but then the rubber backing became fine. So yeah, overall this mousepad was surprising. It's definitely a unique texture. This is not a surface I've felt before. As to how it was designed, I think ROCKETJUMPNINJA was just sent, he said 20 of whatever Xtrfy's mousepad factories just like OEM surfaces are, and he played with all of them, did like a fucking NCAA bracket style tournament and picked the one he liked the most, which happened to be this. So it's really just another case like the MZ1, ROCKETJUMPNINJA picking what is best for him and then selling it. If you want to buy it like as merch for that reason, fucking go ahead. If you want the best mousepad, unless you're looking for something very control oriented, high static friction, high dynamic friction, not a really consistent feeling, seems like it's affected by humidity, I would look for a different mousepad. It's nothing really special for the price quality wise, and the packaging should definitely change. But yeah, hopefully ROCKETJUMPNINJA makes more products. Like and sub. The last thing to mention is that this thing is a dust magnet, so if that's a problem you have with your mousepad accumulating this much dust in a week, with it being pretty consistently wiped off, that's something to note as well. But yeah, that's going to be all for the review of the Xtrfy GPZ1 Zy's damage. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe for future mousepad reviews. And yeah, peace. Let me know what you think about the GPZ1 in the comments.